Hey everyone! Hi, it's your friendly neighborhood Emma speaking. Welcome to another video. I hope you're doing fine. I hope you're doing well. Despite what's going on right now, despite the times. I guess I just wanted to talk just generally about any things going on with me, things that are going to be happening, where I'm at just in my life, because I haven't really sat down and had a proper chat in a long time. And that's not intentional. I think sometimes, I have to kind of be with myself for a while and really understand what's going on around me and to, really properly process it, you know what I mean? The thing is I've had plenty of moments where I was kind of I think I finally figured it out. I've finally kind of broken through, and I don't think I'm saying that to diminish those moments. I think those moments are still valid, because without those moments, I wouldn't have gotten here. Also, if there's a play in the background and you can hear it, I would like to apologize for that. I can't control that. But yeah, and then I get disappointed if I feel like I'm not back at square one, but I feel like I'm still kind of, something's holding me back, and I don't feel like I'm truly at peace with something. And I think it's hard for me to accept that I've moved to the next level, gone to another level, because I feel like sometimes I'm relearning constantly the same things over and over again, but with new kind of methods of understanding, or a new context that kind of makes it more fresh, or I look at it a different way. And I think that's the crux of it, in the sense of I sometimes don't know when to give myself grace. I sometimes struggle to know when I can actually embrace myself. You know what I mean? When I can actually go, hey, I've done it. I'm good. But I think I'm scared of fooling myself into something false, or denying something, or putting something aside, because it's tricky. I feel like you can know what works for you and know what's gonna make you upset, and you can do things I can't let it get to me. Other people's perception of me is not paramount. It's not more than my experience of living, because I feel like who I am as a person and what I've experienced could trump some random person who might not like what I have to say, or just might not like me as a person. And but sometimes I doubt myself, you know what I mean? And so I think some of that's self-imposed, because I have a lot to be happy about. I have a lot to be proud of myself for. I've done so much in my life so far. I had to sit down and really think about, gosh, I have achieved a lot in my time on this earth. And a part of it's I don't give myself enough credit, and I should be giving myself more credit, but I don't want to be kind of suppressing or minimizing things that I need to address. And that's kind of where I'm coming from with this, is that I've struggled a lot in the last year, and this even the last year and a half, with a few things. And I think it comes down to my opportunities feel very guarded, and I find it hard to get opportunities for myself. And I feel like I'm doing so much work for not much return, And I have people in my life that really care about me and love me, and, you know, they will, you know, have positive things to say about things I'm doing in regards to art or other things. But I guess I feel invisible. Like, I don't feel like I register to the places that I want to be at, and I've been kind of denied so long things I wanted that it's made me debate if I want it all, giving up, you know. And you're not supposed to say, oh, I want to give up something, because, you know, it means that, especially if you still want to do it and you're just doing it because of pressure or because you don't have like the tenacity to keep going. But yeah, if you're not supposed to say that, but like at times I felt like giving up, and I'm being broad when I'm talking about this, but what I'm referring to is just like getting employment and getting jobs, and or my music career even working out in an sizable capacity, whether that's just playing shows on a semi-regular basis or having more of like or interest from more people about it. I feel like it's been a lot of hard work, and I've gotten more return on the music thing because I've had some shows and people have given me feedback on it. But the employment aspect, like, because I'm trying to get a job as a librarian and other jobs I've kind of opened myself up for, but nothing much seems to be working, and this has been a problem for years, and I've like had several emotional breakdowns over it, you know, like trying to get jobs, and I feel like I'm trying to bend myself over or like put myself into a system that doesn't want me, no matter how hard I try, and like I don't really want it. Like the way it treats me, it doesn't want me. Like, why would I want it? You know, I haven't benefited from the system. I haven't gotten perks. I haven't gotten anything. And I feel like the more I try with it, the harder it is to get it to work. It feels just really hard for me. And not to say the right opportunity won't come in regards to employment or music or whatever it is. But with employment especially, it's been like literal years. Like, apart from like the odd jobs here and there, or like casual stuff, maybe in the most, I don't feel like I'm not getting let through, and it's really hard because like I've changed everything. I've changed my approach so many times. I've written so many like cover letters, like variations on things that could get me into something, change resume, and then nothing works. And I promise not for lack of trying. It's just like, I think the system is like actively made to like be hard. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of how it's designed, and that's not my fault. That's not really something that I'm not in charge of everything, and I feel like it's made that way to be difficult for anyone trying to get, you know, a certain amount of traction. And like, you know, I went through kind of a lot of phases of like, you know, blaming myself or thinking I'm not doing enough, but I don't think that's the problem. And yeah, it's a tricky situation. It's made me quite emotional, and I've also realized too that a lot of my pain, a lot of what I go through, it takes root in so many things, and sometimes I blame things that aren't actually the cause at all, and I'm quite hard on myself sometimes, and that has been a thing for a lot of my life, in that I've been quite hard on myself, you know, and other people have been quite hard on me, like when I was growing up. So, you know, it's an internalized behavior, and I feel like I have made progress in realizing these patterns and kind of combating them and getting better with it. But it's the kind of thing where you're like, once you kind of beat one round, the next round comes along and it still manifests somehow, but I have to take more time to figure out what that is and combat that, and then resets again. Not that it kind of goes down a little every time. Like, it's not like it's no progress, but the amount in which it manifests in my life, in situations that it does, I find hard to comprehend, because it's so it's so under the covers, it's so between the lines, and I think I find it hard to keep tabs and tracks on things, and I feel like if I overthink, I overwork my mind. And I guess that leads me on to the next thing, which is like, I do a lot of mental kind of masking and mental endurance and like kind of thinking in my brain to kind of be functional. And I've realized this recently that I think that's what causes a lot of my exhaustion, just the amount of mental energy I'm using to navigate my life is just making it harder on me. And I think I just have to stop doing that, or at least reframe and reduce it to a point where it's like, it's there. Because like, I feel like if you have a healthy mental, if you have mental health that is healthy, what I'm trying to say, then this is easier and it doesn't become a problem. But I feel like sometimes it snowballs for me, and like, it's hard to keep track of, and like, I don't know. I feel like I have a lot of love and a lot of things to give, and the place where it goes to is, if it's reciprocated, is like fuzzy, and it takes a lot of energy for me to do that. And I haven't broken through to the point where I'm like, yes, I've arrived, and I feel like I'm in an environment where, it might not be like perfect, but at least I'm getting more kind of reciprocation and validation. But it's not happening as much as it should be. And like, I've had kind of situations with friends and stuff that have changed, and I don't really apart from Discord people and like some people in creative projects in my real life, and I don't really have many people to talk to, or friends really. Like, I feel like it's enough to get my fix, but it doesn't necessarily fulfill me in the long run. And that's something I need to do. I need to find my people. I need to find more people, and like, that hasn't unlocked yet. But I've met some new people recently that have actually helped me big time, and I reconnected with old ones that have really helped, and I feel like those connections are like stronger than ever. So it's not all negative. And I just want you to know too, is that if you ever read my Letterboxd reviews and this and that, and like, I come across as a very like positive person, and I think that's my core. And that's my core as an individual. Like, I feel like I'm in tune to that, but at the same time, I get sad and things happen, and I'm not always like happy Jan, like, happy, like a lot of us, I go through a lot of things, and it's not binary. Like, I'm this and that and all this stuff, and it can, like, things can get really tough, and like, you hear things from the news every day which, are hard to take. And I have joined like a grassroots organization in my community that's kind of helped me feel more like I have more power, and I feel more connected, and it makes me happy. But it is also a lot of work, and it's hard to always like give myself to that, and balancing all the other things that are going on in my life emotionally. So that's another thing too. And but I'm grateful for these things because they really lift me up. And I guess another thing is like, some big things have happened to me that have spurred on things that have benefited me in the long run. And the thing that kind of it takes root in is not necessarily a positive experience. Like I think I might have talked about this at some point, but I was taken advantage of by an old friend. We're not in contact anymore, but that kind of sent me into a spiral in a long, long time of talking with my therapist and sorting stuff out. And I'm still sorting it out. And ever since then, my life has kind of become a lot more difficult and less simple than it seemed, and like, it was just a rude awakening. And around like August, September last year, right, I started working on my album. And my album has, suffice it to say, it has been a great refuge for me. It's been like a great support thing, and the journey I've had in the last year is definitely in that record. And I'm excited for everyone to hear it. And I'm really jazzed on it. I think, granted, like, it was a lot of hard work. It did burn me out a little bit, and not necessarily like mixing, which is pretty tough, and I couldn't do that all the time. I definitely would have someone do the recording and mixing next time for the next album, whenever that happens in the future. But it was more so like listening to the songs over and over again, and just getting so lost in like every little technical minutia, or like, oh, if the song's clipping, or if this is happening, or I need to fix this, or I need to, and it's just like, sometimes it takes away like the magic of it, and it's just like, I had to like kind of stop doing it for a little bit to like kind of appreciate it again, because it was just too much for my brain, like, and like, I now understand why people have like producers and engineers and people master, because like it can be really draining if you're doing it all yourself. And like, but the reason why I'm doing it all myself is that I don't have much money. I'm my bank balance is not much to talk about, and like, out of necessity, I kind of needed to do it. I found out like, mixing, I find some joy in the process, and there's definitely things I like about it, but I definitely feel more comfortable in performing and writing and getting the emotions out there. But that's just something you learn about yourself, and like, it does feel nice to have an album that I did and it's like on my own steam, and like, some people help me out with some songs. Like, there's like 3 songs on the record, 2 free songs that is like a bit of collaboration, a bit of kind of bit more outwards. That was great, but I'm excited for you all to hear it, and I will announce it. And I'm hoping the next few weeks. I am waiting for the music video to be edited and done before I do it, so it will like kind of all succinctly come out at the same time, and it won't be delayed. So just be patient with me. But I think like I have a lot of fears around how the album's going to work out, if people will care enough, if it does anything, if I can get band together for it in time. And things have kind of, with like getting bands, it's kind of like very inconsistent. People have stuff on, things fall apart and come back together again, and it's a lot to take. A lot of stuff happens to me like every week, and having like the mental fortitude to get through it all is not an easy task. It is honestly a lot, It's just like, I'm only one person with one brain, and I'm very vulnerable and sensitive, and I have a lot of, I'm like, what can I say? I have a lot of feelings. Like, that's just it, there's a lot of feelings going on, and like I have like things in my life that help me out, but it's like I think I just need a better situation and something that shows me that yes, you can do this, and like I don't need to be successful to validate my existence as a person, but it will definitely make it more comfortable existing and function, at least to a certain degree. I think you would have problems in any arena of life, but my arena is very limiting and suffocating sometimes, and I feel like other people probably get concerned about me because, like, you know, nothing's really going on for me, and I'm probably not as far as other people are. You know, some people are like, I won't name names or anything because, you know, confidentiality and all, but, you know, some people tell me like, oh, the likelihood of your dreams working out is like not high, and, you know, you got to be realistic about it, and, you know, you live in a fantasy land, you're delusional, and like, you know, and all I have to say to that is like, well, why would I not be doing something that gives me more joy than other things and makes me feel like I have a place in this world? And even if it's not going to go as far as I wanted to, at least I gave it a try, and it made me happy for a while. And some people have come up to me and said, I really like, you know, your songs, or that show you just did was really great. You know, I love that stuff. And like, you know, I feel like a lot of times with making music work is that you just gotta like keep trying and pushing, and like, you know, you're not gonna get anywhere if you just sit and think, well, I may as well not try because the odds are so against me, and like, where am I gonna get with that attitude? You know, like, but yeah, it's a lot emotionally to think like, could be just singing to a certain amount, to no one, to more people, to I don't know. You don't know, and like, if it doesn't work out, then like, you know, I got to think of doing something else, but it's kind of unimaginable in my head to imagine a world where I'm not doing something creative, or not trying to, or like putting my emotions out there, because I realized the reason why I'm able to get through things is because I have this album where I put it all in, and, you know, like I'm hoping that, you know, and have some discussions about the album later on and get more into the nitty gritty once it's out there and you're familiar with it. But yeah, it's a lot of sides of myself are in it, and all the sides are just me, but just different aspects of my life is what I'm trying to say. And like, I don't know. I want people to hear it, and I want it to work out. I don't think that's conceited. I think that's pretty reasonable. I think it's reasonable to want your star to shine, and I think it's reasonable to want to succeed in something, and to know that, you know, you're doing a good job, and, you know, you get to see smile on people's faces, and, you know, I know what I have, and I want someone else to go, oh, I see what she has, and, you know, I want to be as happy as that girl back there, Sabrina, is, like, when she's performing and she seems to be having a good time. Like anything, she's just a person. She goes for her own stuff, and people who seemingly have it together probably are going for their own stuff, but it's tough being in the public eye. And I sometimes, like, do I want that for myself? In the sense, like, well, but I think everything in life is a lot to handle, even when no one's paying attention. I still have shit going on, and I just see it as a different arena of things. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm just very happy for the people that are there for me and have helped me with this project, and have just helped me out in general, just as a person. And I wouldn't be anywhere without y'all, really. And I think another thing is too is that in my journey, in my copious amounts of work to mask, I've become kind of self-indulgent and self-obsessed, where even though I do see other people's perspective, and I do reach out to other people and have empathy, I feel like I'm so self-involved, and I've been trying to like kind of monitor my behavior, that I forgot to just live and to take in other people. And I had like an epiphany the other day where I was like, well, damn, like now, like I had a realization like, oh, this is what it feels like to actually see someone else and do it for them and not just for yourself. And like I think I've always wanted to understand that concept, and I've done everything in my power to at least get to that someday. But I feel like I'm now like really comprehending like other people and community rather than individualism, and I think that's so important. And like, I don't know, I can be selfish. I can be really kind of in my own head about things, and I guess I'm just passionate about the things I've learned and what I've built up in my head. But it's not all where it's at, it's so many different things, and like, I don't know, I'm slowly just being around and appreciating moments, but also remembering those moments and not letting it get ahead of me either. Like, that's another thing. I don't know, for a while too, like, being hard on myself extended to being hard on, like, am I girly enough? Am I this enough? Am I that enough? But there's no standard for how much you're this or that, or, how much you're a woman. You just are. Like, just who you are is enough. As a woman, as a trans femme, as an MB person, like, it's enough, And, like, I gotta stop putting myself down, That's, like, the takeaway, and, like, I know, like, when I sit down to do content like this, it's probably not the easiest to sit through, because there's, like, a lot of what I'm talking about is, like, quite sensitive content, but I feel less alone sharing it. And if one person sees this and goes, thanks for talking about that, Emma, I get what you're saying, or, I relate, or I feel for that, and then, like, that's great. But honestly, like, I've been listening to a lot of Sabrina Carpenter, and I promise this is related, but I was thinking back to when I started HRT like a while ago, almost 2 years at this point. And like, her album Short and Sweet came like about a month or so after I started it, and it was like kind of like really helped me out in my womanhood journey, and like that was just so important for me. And now I like really come back to her music and really listen to it, and I'm like, I feel like any confidence, or a lot of confidence I've gotten, was spurred and kind of realized by her Music Man's Best Friend and Short and Sweet, and like all that stuff. And like, it's helped me to at least get to on a jumping point, like, oh, I can do this. And I feel like more accepted into this world, and her music has done that. And like, she didn't do that alone. It's obviously me, but it definitely helped her. Like, it was like a nice little kind of guide, but I'm doing it my own way. I'm finding how I'm going to pull my weight amongst it too, because, I think that's the thing too. I'm living without letting art kind of overtake my life, in the sense of like, well, I'm not the art that I consume. The art is only informing me, and I take what I can from it. And one of the reasons why I made the new album was I was just so kind of impressed by her last two albums that I was like, I want to do something kind of like that, where, I make songs that, I can be funny and it's sardonic on, but I can also be sweet and emotional. And, I want my music to make me feel empowered and cool and all that stuff. And, you know, she was like a lightning rod for that. And like, I have to think of that. And like, I feel a lot of love from the things around me. You know, I feel a lot of love, and that love is like what makes me at the end of the day. And I wanted to, that's all I wanted to find. That's all I want to be, is just love. I just want, you know, and if nothing works out anytime soon, at least I tried. You know, at least I gave it a go, and I didn't take no for an answer, and I'm not going to take no for an answer. When I said, like, you know, thought about giving up, it would never been something I actually did. More so that there's just so much pressure that you're basically just taken to your lowest moment. You're like, oh, I'm so emotional, and I'm just so, you know, drained that I'm just like, it's hard to like persist. But yeah, I'm gonna work it out, and you'll figure it out here somehow. Of course, I haven't like mentioned like everything happening, because there's a lot in like, but I feel like doing a video like this, at least touching on some of them, helps out, and the rest will follow. And like, I was thinking about doing like a full video on Sabrina back there. I love that poster, by the way. So yeah, I don't know when that would happen, but you know, I'd love to just talk about a music, but I'll have to listen to like a whole discography, and you know, because I've been reading stuff and watching interviews and listening, just like getting into her, and like, she seems like a nice person. She's just a person who makes really cool music. Being a pop star must be surreal. I'll tell you what, but the feeling that pop music can give you when you like what you're doing, or even listening to pop music, is just like nothing else. I hold it so close to my heart. But yeah, I know this was a really long video, so thanks for watching all of it. And hope you enjoyed being led into my world a little bit. I think that, as I said before, it helps for me to unload, and the world is nothing without other people out there to hear you. You know, the world is nothing but others hearing others, and we could probably stand to hear each other a little better, and to share and kind of counterpoint things, and not be closed off from each other. And that's the best we can do. We can find the things we agree with and really go into it. And yeah, sometimes that's all you can do. But yeah, I'm giving you all my love if you're still here. And yeah, that just means everything to me, that people can, you know, want to hear what I have to say. And yeah, just remember that you're not going to get anywhere by sitting at home and not reaching out. And I'm saying this to myself, like this is my attempt to reach out in some way, other than just like my therapist or my immediate family, or maybe the friends that I do have right now. So yeah, I'm a work in progress, what can I say? But yeah, well, the next time you hear from me is probably the album announcement. So I'll see you when that happens, and bye for now. Bye, all of you lovely people. Bye.